What's going on, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Bravo cast. This is still a new thing for me, so I'm sorry if it comes off as like a little awkward or anything. I'm new to this whole like just broadcasting and just talking my ass off thing. Well, I'm used to talking my ass off, but I guess just not freely talking my ass off, I guess, if that makes sense. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. I definitely did. I have a lot to talk about. This whole show is gonna be about, uh, basically what I did this weekend. Let me put my phone on do not disturb so you guys don't hear my phone vibrating. That would be great audio. But, like I said, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Um, I've been kinda gone for a while for those of you that are, regulars on my streams or my videos or Discord, whatever. There's been a lack of content and stuff this weekend, and it's because I went away on a little weekend trip with my mom. We went to Monster Mania 57. And to the uninitiated, people are gonna be like, well, what the fuck is Monster Mania 57? Um, think of it as Comic Con or any convention, really, but just only for horror movies and all that kind of stuff. It's a horror convention, obviously, Monster Mania. Um, it's like the biggest horror convention. They've been going strong for a few years. I went to one in, I think it was 2018, 2018, New Jersey with my mom to meet like Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger. And there were some people from like Friday the 13th there, like Kane Hodder, who played Jason for a few movies. Um, I always look back on it now and I'm kind of annoyed, but Tony Todd was there. I wish I would have seen Candyman a little bit earlier because I could have gotten to meet Tony Todd, who is Candyman. He was even Venom in Spider-Man 2 that just came out on PS5. He's the best Venom of all time now, also. So it'd been kind of cool to meet him, but back then it's kind of a noob. I didn't see as much horror as I have now. I was always a fan, but more of a casual fan. Now I'm a little bit more into it, I guess. There's still some gaps in my horror knowledge, but I'm a little bit more initiated now. So, for those of you that don't know, uh, Scream is my favorite horror movie of all time, and just one of my favorite movies of all time in general. Um, I've been looking basically ever since I became just a big Scream fanboy at different conventions, like Monster Mania or not, just to see if there were any around me that would have like the Scream cast there or Scream cast members there, not like the entire cast, but maybe like a couple people. Um, and I never really found any that were like realistic that I could go to. Like I saw one a few months ago. I think that was like in Utah or something, or Denver or somewhere. I don't know, where they had like almost all the Scream cast there. I think it was like Neve, maybe David, Matt, Skeet. Like it had most of the people there. I think maybe Jamie Kennedy. I'm not sure. That's not that important. But point is, I've been looking around at a lot of different conventions and stuff just to see if I could find one that I could go to and have a chance to meet them. Because I've gone to a couple conventions now. Like I went to New York Comic Con in like I think it was 2016. I went to that horror convention in 2018 out of their Monster Mania. Uh and they're just fun to me. Like they're cool. They're really cool experiences. It's just kind of special to be able to meet people that one you would like never have another opportunity to meet, and also especially when they're like someone that means a lot to you or that you just like love watching or a fan of or whatever the case may be. It's really cool to meet them because us normal folk we don't have opportunities just to talk to these people and meet these people. We just watch them on our TV or whatever it may be, and grow attachments to him and stuff. So it's really cool to be able to actually meet some of those people. Like in New York Comic Con in 2016, uh, I mean, a moment I'll cherish forever now, meeting Kevin Conroy, voiced, who voiced Batman in Batman the Animated Series, the Arkham games. Like he was voicing Batman for decades, and he is my Batman. It was actually just the 1 year anniversary of his passing, so R.I.P. Kevin. Um, he is Batman to me. But anyway, before I go down that whole rabbit hole, um, so it's just cool to have opportunities like that to meet people. Um, So yeah, I've been fiending, looking around, trying to see if there was another horror convention coming around that would have like the Scream cast there. And I finally found it. Obviously, it was Monster Mania 57, I think was the number. And it was in Pennsylvania. I've never been to Pennsylvania, at least not that I can remember. Maybe when I was young. Maybe when I was young I did. I don't know. Is Hershey Park in Pennsylvania? I don't know. I feel like I might have been in Pennsylvania, just too young to remember. But anyway, haven't been to Pennsylvania that I can remember. But I saw on Instagram, I believe, that they were doing a Scream 1 cast reunion. So I was like, "Well, if this is my chance, this is my opportunity," like Pennsylvania's not close to me, but it's doable. It's not like Utah or something where I have to hop on a plane and go to, across the country or something. Like it's a long drive, but it's doable. Um And then I was just looking at it and they just kept adding more people. Like at first, I think it was just Neve, Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, Jamie Kennedy. I think it was just them. And then I saw that and I was like, well, I mean, that's enough for me. I brought it up to my mom. I was like, that I've been looking around at all these conventions trying to find one where like the Scream cast members are going to that would be kind of doable. That's not like across the country or anything crazy like that. I think I found one. So we talked about it for a little bit and yeah, we pulled the trigger on it, obviously. Um and I think we like bought the tickets to go and everything in the summer, like July or August. So I've been looking forward to it for a while. Um and they kept adding more people. Like David Arquette, I don't believe was there originally, but they added him, so that made me even more happy. They just kept adding different people. Like they added some Terrifier people, like they added Damien Leone, who's like the director, creator, writer, makeup guy for Terrifier. It's his baby. Uh David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown. Then my mom is a big Alice Cooper fan. They added him there. Um Tom Atkins from like Halloween 3, Hayden Panettiere, who I didn't get a chance to meet. I was hoping to meet her on Sunday, maybe, but I don't think she was there Sunday, so I kind of missed that opportunity, but it's okay. Um, but yeah, so I've just been looking forward to it for a long time, and as it's been getting closer and closer, I was getting more like excited and nervous. Um, Cons are just like a really interesting experience because you're like it's a mix of excitement and nervousness because you're kind of obviously you want everybody to be cool, you want the trip itself to go well, you want the con to go well. You want everything just to go smoothly, and then yeah, like first and foremost, you want everyone just to be cool. You don't want to meet somebody that you're a big fan of and they turn out to be an asshole. Nobody wants that. And then also when you're standing in front of that person, it's nerve wracking. It's like you kind of freeze up a little bit. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Like it's just like I'm standing in front of this person I've been watching forever, or like it's a lot. It's very like mentally and emotionally draining on that side, like with meeting people, and then also like the wait and just waiting and waiting and waiting in line, and the drive down. Like it's a lot. Um, so I guess I'll kind of start there. So I went for the full weekend. We went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, the con started at 5 and ended at 10. So we drove down. We left my house at like, I don't know, 10:30, 11, somewhere around there. Drove down, got some food, checked into our hotel. Hotel was really nice that we stayed at too, which was cool. And the hotel was only like 15 minutes away from the expo center. And we took some time just to eat, unpack, kind of get ready, all that. Then we went there. And usually, like the way it goes is like usually most of the time, Saturday is the busiest day by far, just because like that's the one that people go to because it's the middle of the weekend. And then usually like Friday and Sunday is supposed to be like the quieter days. So we were like, well, we're gonna kind of see. We're going to all of them, so we're gonna just try to get done what we can. So we kind of sat around, tried to game plan a little bit what we wanted to do. Um, so Friday, my original plan was like, well, because I also like I'm a nerd. I was like coordinating my outfits for the days and stuff. I was like, well, I'm gonna wear like my Billy and Stu shirt Friday, so if I can meet Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich on Friday, that would be great because then if I can take pictures with them, like I'll be in the shirt with them on it, and it would just be cool to do both of them in the same day. Pause. um, so that was the plan going in. Then obviously my mom also wanted to meet Alice Cooper, so I was like, well, we could try to do like Skeet, Matthew Lillard, and Alice Cooper, and then we'll save like Neve Campbell and David Arquette for Saturday, and then Sunday will kind of be just trying to get whatever we missed done because it should be quieter. So we get there Friday. Um, you have to wait online before you get in there. Um, you get like a little, I guess, event planner type thing where it has like a schedule of all the different things that are going on. So like you obviously have autographs all day, every day. There's photo ops you can buy, and there's also some panels. So the little schedule thing they hand you gives you times for all the different panels if you want to go to those. And I think it has some other stuff in it too. But mainly the main thing is the schedule for the panels and stuff. So that's cool also. So it's like you can get autographs, you can take pictures, and then if you're able to make it to one of the panels, you can actually like sit down and watch them talk about whatever. Like the panels were Q&A. So some people could go ask questions and you could just hear them talk about everything, which is also cool. I went to one of the panels that we'll talk about later, or two of the panels actually. Um, but Friday, we're waiting online. It's kind of busy, whatever. We get inside, and the way the place was set up was interesting because the first Monster Mania I went to in like 2018 was in a hotel. So they just kind of had like I guess like the dining room area, which was like a big room in the hotel, be like the main room for the autographs, and then they had like a couple other different rooms in the hotel that they were using for autographs also. This one was just at like an expo center, so it's just a ginormous building, and they used a couple halls of it. Like we didn't even use the whole building, but there's like one ginormous room that had all the autographs in it, all the photo ops in it, and then outside of that room, there was also another just massive area that had like all the vendors and stuff, like people that were selling art and selling merch and whatever. Like different artists were there and different retailers were there. It's pretty cool because you get to see a whole bunch of stuff that you wouldn't normally get to see, like tons of paintings and just like I said, artwork and shirts and clothes, all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Um, I got a couple things, but not too much. I was really trying to limit myself just because, like, I buy I buy tons of stuff. Like, obviously, you guys know I like Funko Pops a little bit. And I kind of just running out of room to put stuff. So I was like, I mean, I want to look around at all this cool stuff. I'm not really going to be able to get much of it just because I have no room for everything, even though a lot of it's pretty awesome. So, we're kind of walking around trying to figure out where we need to go. That was one thing that maybe they could have improved is like they only had a sign up for like where the food court was. So we saw the food court sign. We're like, oh, okay, well, the autographs aren't going to be by the food court. So let's kind of wander around and see what we can find. And we're wandering around and we're just in like the artist area with all the booths with like the retailers and stuff. We're like, well, where the fuck are where are the autographs at? So then we walk into like the food court thing, and then that's like ginormous room where all the autographs were. So we're like, oh well, you have this massive sign for a food court, but then no one's there to tell you, like, oh yeah, there's also like everybody in that room. They only advertise it as a food court. So that was like a little, I was like, yeah, I mean, if they could have put a sign up maybe saying like autographs this way or just had people that could guide you there because that cost us a little bit of time, I'm assuming. Because by the time we got there, I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to hit like Matthew Lillard first. Um, his line was huge. His line was huge. Um, like I said, these rooms are ginormous, and his line like snaked I think 3 times around or something on Friday, like, it was 3 or 4, like, up, down type thing, like a snake like that, like, there's 3 of those, and I think we were, like, right in the middle of that, we weren't at the end, but we weren't in near the beginning, so we were like, "Well, shit," you know? "This is gonna be a long one." We were kinda surprised by how big it was. I went in assuming Neve Campbell and David Arquette would have the biggest lines just because they're like the 2 main characters, you know, Sidney and Dewey. And then obviously Gail, but Courtney Cox wasn't there. She was like the only like major cast member that wasn't there. And I guess Rose McGowan and like Henry Winkler. But you know, out of like the core cast, like Courtney Cox was like the only one that wasn't there. But I went in assuming Nev and David would have the biggest lines just because they're like the 2 most iconic characters. But no, the entire weekend, the Matthew Lillard had the biggest line by far. Um, and I guess it's because, like, you know, people my age, I'm 23, you know, we grew up with him as Shaggy in the Scooby Doo movies. And then obviously, you know, Stu and Scream. And then he's got some other movies. And then obviously, very recently, he was also in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So I guess it made sense where, like, he's coming off of Five Nights at Freddy's, which has a very massive fan base. There was a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's fans there, and there's also some people from the movie there. Like I think everybody that was in the animatronic suits for the movie were also there signing autographs and taking pictures and stuff. Um, so yeah, Matthew Lillard just had a massive line. I mean, you had people from Five Nights at Freddy's, you had people from Scooby Doo, and then you had people from Scream. I think the majority was Scream, then Scooby Doo, and then Five Nights at Freddy's, but like it was a lot and it was pretty varied. Like there was people cosplaying as Shaggy and Scooby and, you know, like, Velma and stuff like that. There was, like, a couple Five Nights at Freddy's cosplays too. Uh, and then for Scream, I mean, there was people the whole weekend, just there was tons of ghost faces walking around, and a lot of people were wearing, like, Billy's bloody shirt and stuff. There's a lot of people dressing up like Tatum, which was kind of interesting, Rose McGowan's character. Um, a couple people doing Dewey, which is kinda cool too. I saw a couple people dressed up as Sidney from the end of the first movie also, with, like, the jean jacket and, like, purple shirt with some blood on and stuff. So, the cosplays and stuff are cool. There's tons of Art the Clowns walking around. It's just a fun environment, you know, if you're a horror fan, like, it's really fun. Uh, so yeah, Matthew's line was fucking ginormous. Um, but the people that we were, like, with online were pretty cool. We were talking to them most of the time. And I think he showed up like an hour late. So when he showed up like an hour late, he was like going through the line and just like high fiving people and like saying hi to people, which was really cool. Like that was the first, I guess, little case of being like starstruck that there was, because like you just look and then all of a sudden like Matthew Lillard's just like walking up and down the lines of people. He's like, holy fuck, like he's right there. Um, so that was pretty cool. And I got to high five him like twice. I had a video of that actually. Like he was just going around the crowds, or not the crowds, but the lines of people, and he's just going up and down, you know, being himself. He's hugging people, he's high fiving people. There was, like, some people that were, like, in wheelchairs and stuff, and he'd go into the line and wheel them up to the front when, it was their turn to get an autograph or whatever, which was really cool. Like, he's just such an awesome guy, like, it was really, really cool to see. He genuinely is, like, just the coolest guy on the planet. Like, he's so fun, uh, just such a sweet guy, like, really, you could just tell he really loves his fans, it really means a lot to him. Like, and that's why he had the longest lines all weekend, he really treats his fans well and kinda puts on the show. Like like, he would just randomly walk in, like, his lines were crazy, like, on Saturday, his line wrapped around 6 times. And when I say the line wrapped around 6 times, and not like a little short single fire line, like, you can kinda see in the video, like, this is a big, ginormous room. It wrapped around, like, the whole length of the room 6 times, you know? Like, it's crazy. And he would randomly just go into the lines and kinda keep everybody, feeling alright, like, "Yeah, like, I'm here, you're gonna get to me eventually. I appreciate you waiting," which was cool. It was really cool. So yeah, I mean, he was just an awesome dude. Ended up having to wait, like, I think the total time was around 5 hours. Stood there for 5 hours waiting to meet him, but it was worth it, man. He's such a great guy. So I didn't get his autograph first, but he was the first line I waited on. Uh, so there's the picture right there, tall as hell. I'm like 6'1". He's probably, I think Wikipedia and Google says he's like 6'4". He might even be like 6'5", honestly. Like, he's huge. Like, when he was walking around up and down the lines and stuff just in the crowd, you never lost him. Like he was the tallest dude in the building at all times. Like, he was huge. But he's just like a teddy bear. Like, when you go up there, he shakes your hand, he gives you a hug, he signs your stuff, then you take your picture, shakes your hand again and hugs you again, and then, have a good night or whatever, like, just a really cool guy. And that's the thing that I had like the entire time at the convention was like, because like I said, you guys know, like, I'm a massive Scream fan. They're just some of my favorite movies in general. Like, they're not even my favorite horror movies, they're just some of my favorite movies in general. It's like Star Wars, Batman, Scream. That's like my 3. Um, so like I was just going up, and this kind of applies to everybody. Like, I'd go up to him and be kind of starstruck. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm standing in front of Stu, I'm standing in front of Shaggy, like, I'm sitting there like, damn, dude, like, this is crazy. I kind of froze up a little bit. Like, I didn't really, like, I wanted to ask them stuff, but I couldn't. I would just tell them like how much I love them, basically. Like, oh, like, I'm a massive fan, like, started watching in Scooby Doo, and then, I got older and watched Scream, and then, you're like one of my favorite characters in Scream, stuff like that. But you kind of freeze up, and it's like you kind of get that out, and then you're kind of just sitting there, and you're like, wow, like, I'm really standing in front of this guy right now, or this person. It applied to everybody really, but Matthew, like, yeah, I mean, such a great dude. The 5 hour the 5 hour wait was long, but it was worth it. It was worth it. Great guy. But he wasn't the first person I met because that line was so long. And this was the kind of the thing that started getting a little crazy and made the wait so hard was, like I said, there's autograph signings all day, but there's also photo ops and there's panels and stuff. Now, Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich were supposed to have panels on Saturday, but they had to cancel their panel because they had so many people online to get autographs. They're like, yeah, we literally can't leave. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to sign all of these autographs. We want to sign everyone's autograph that's been waiting online all day. So we literally can't leave. Like, that's how busy they were this weekend. Um, and that's the thing too, is like, yes, they're getting money and they're getting paid to be there. But, going to the cons also reminds you, like, these people are human beings. Like, yeah, we watch them on TV and we see them in movies and whatever. So we think of them as like above, you know, above all the normalcy that we go through. But I couldn't even begin to imagine how tired mentally and physically everybody was after this weekend. Cause I mean, signing that many autographs, meeting that many people, taking that many pictures, standing for that long, it's gotta be insane. So, yeah, like, yeah, they're getting paid and all that, but it's gotta be insane. Like, if I'm exhausted after after the weekend, I can't even imagine, like, what everybody else like, the actual, like, celebrities are feeling. Um, but yeah, so it was 5 hours because he had to leave to do photo ops, and while they're doing photo ops, like, obviously the line just stays there. You gotta just wait for till they're done with photo ops, so you're kinda standing there for an hour while nothing's happening. But what they did with his line is they gave everybody cards. So they're like, "Okay, Matthew has photo ops until" I don't remember if it was like 9 o'clock or something, or 9:30. Like, when it's 9:30, come back here with your card and we'll line everybody up again just so you can go do other stuff. So while he was doing that, my mom wanted to go meet Alice Cooper because she's a massive Alice Cooper fan. She's been a fan of him forever. So I went with her to do that. And then once we finished with Alice Cooper, I looked over and I saw that Roger L. Jackson, the voice of Ghostface, he didn't really have a long line at all. So I was like, okay, let me go over and do him real quick because, like, I'm not really gonna have to wait, you know? Like, he had some people, but it wasn't like that long. I waited online, I think, for Roger L. Jackson. To put it in perspective, like, I waited 5 hours for Matthew Lillard. I think I waited 10 minutes for Roger L. Jackson. And he was so fucking cool, man. Like, he was so awesome. Like, he's talking to you and he's just like super chill, calm. His normal voice is almost Ghostface, so it's like you kind of feel like you're talking to Ghostface, which was just awesome. And longtime viewers of me know I'm a massive Black Ops Cold War fan. You can see it on his on his little banner behind him. Uh and really I told him, and this was true, like, Roger L. Jackson is the reason why I'm a Scream fan, because I bought the Ghostface operator in Black Ops Cold War because I thought his quotes, his voiceover work, his voice acting work was so good as the Ghostface operator. I was like, I have to watch the Scream movies because I fucking love Ghostface. I was like, this operator's sick. I'm sure a lot of these lines are from the movies. Like, he's just awesome. I want to watch the Scream movies now. And I did, and I watched all of them, and now I'm a massive fucking nerd, and here I am now. Yeah. So really, all this is a credit to him. So I told him that, he was honored. Um, and he even said, like, in his ghost face was like, "Oh, thank you," or whatever. Like, he did it for like a second. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, he said like a couple words in his ghost face voice, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's fucking crazy." Like, that's kind of the cool thing about meeting voice actors. Like, even when I met Nolan North at Comic-Con in 2016, he did the Richtofen voice from Call of Duty Zombies, and he did like David from The Last of Us. Hearing the voices of like video game characters, anime characters, like, in real life is just surreal. So, like, hearing Ghostface for a second in real life, I was like, "Holy fuck." I think that is insane. Um, but yeah, just the coolest guy. I was talking to him for a little bit, um, just telling him, how much I love Ghostface, how much I love his voice work, and like I said, that he was the reason why I got into Scream in the first place. Um, and the pictures are funny because, like, while I was taking a picture with him, he was, like, doing in, like, a weird voice, almost like a ventriloquist. Like, you can't really tell in the picture, but he's, like, talking to me right there. He's saying, like, "Oh, don't smile, Johnny, don't show your teeth," or whatever, like, something, like, just random and funny, like, in a weird voice. So that's why I'm cheesing extra hard in the picture, because I'm literally, like, laughing, and he's just, like, whispering something to me there. Like, it was really, really cool. And then the part that was really cool was originally my mom took the pictures, but when my mom took the selfie with me and Roger, she, like, cut my head off. So I only noticed it after we were done. So I went back to the Matthew Lillard line and I looked at my phone. I looked at the pictures, like, oh shit, like, mom cut my head off in these pictures. So my mom was like, "Oh, what do you think? Like, you could retake the picture or whatever?" Like, I was like, "I don't know." Like, he's got a line, and Matthew had to stay late because he showed up late and because his line was so long. So I looked over, like, when Roger was, like, kinda finishing up, he was, like, on the phone talking to someone. My mom's like, "Oh, you should go over and just ask and just see if, like, you can retake the picture, just tell him, like, you bought the autograph and selfie combo and that the selfie got messed up, so if you could just get a redo." I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know, like, he's on the phone talking right now, he's about to leave." But then in back of my head, I said, "But I really want a better picture." I was like, "But I really want a better picture with him." So I was like, "Alright, fuck it, I'll try it." Worst they're gonna say is no, and then I just have a picture where, like, a little bit of my hair is cut off, like, fuck it. But I go over, he's on the phone, so I go over to, like, the person who's, like, handling, the money and the autographs and stuff, because everybody at the tables, it's like you have the celebrity, then you have, like, a couple people or one person next to him that, like, handles the money. Like, they, like, "Oh, what do you want the thing to say?" Like, "What do you want? You want your name on it?" All that, like, they handle all that. So I'll go over to the person that's, like, handling his stuff while he's on the phone, and, they're like, "Oh, sorry, like, we're done for tonight," whatever. I was like, "I just have one question, my picture got a little fucked up. My mom cut my head off in the picture." I showed them the picture. I was like, "Is there any way I could just, like, retake the picture quick, like, literally just one picture, like, you don't have to take a bunch, just one picture?" And they're like, "Okay, like, I'll ask Roger when he's off the phone or whatever, just let him, do whatever he's doing." I was like, "Okay, cool." And, he's on the phone. I think he was handling, like, his ride back to the hotel or whatever. And, he hangs up, and the guy asks him, like, "Oh, like, he took a picture, but, like, the picture didn't come out good. Is there any way he could do it?" It's like, "Yeah, of course." So then before he leaves, like, he's done for the night. He doesn't have to, like, he's done for the night. He's packed up, like, to put the money away, everything. Like, he's about to leave. And he's like, "Yeah, of course." So he lets me go back before he leaves and take another picture. And then the part that was really cool to me, and it might sound dumb, but he, like, remembered my name when I went to him. And I met him, like, an hour before. Like, this was, like, an hour later. And he sat there meeting people for hours. But I went over to him, and he did the same thing where he was, like, saying in the super, "Oh, don't smile, don't you do that," or whatever, like, trying to make me laugh. But he remembered my name, and I was like, "Damn, dude." Like, I can it's gonna sound fucked up, like, I'm a streamer, when people come into chat, I don't always remember people's names, you know? Like, it's hard, like, I only remember the regulars, the people that show up constantly, but if you only show up, like, once or twice, I might not remember you. So, like, the fact that he was there all night, meeting tons of people, signing tons of autographs, and I go up at the end of the night, he's ready to go home, or go to, not home, but to the hotel, and that he took the time to retake the picture with me when he didn't have to, because he already took the picture. It's not his fault that the picture got fucked up, you know? The fact that he took the time to take the picture again and that he remembered my name, I was like, "Wow," like, that was, like, fucking great, Such a cool guy. Like, really, really nice guy. Like, I it was really, like, an honor to meet him. Like, he's such an icon, just not even like a horror icon, and it's sad because his lines were much shorter than everybody else, because he's not in the movie physically, like, he's not Matthew Lillard, he's not, Neve Campbell or David Arquette, like, it's just his voice. So he kind of goes unrecognized. And it's really sad because really, if you were to take Roger L. Jackson's voice away from Ghostface, Scream loses a lot of that punch. Ghostface is so important to Scream, and the one constant thing is that mask, that robe, and his voice. If you were to take his voice out of the movies, take his voice away from Ghostface, it just wouldn't hit the same. It would just feel wrong, and it does feel wrong. Like, when you watch that MTV Scream show and it's not his voice, you're like, "Yeah, this ain't Ghostface, bro. It's some fucking imposter." You know? Like, it's sad that he doesn't get the credit that he really deserves, because he truly adds so much to the franchise. And my mom even said it. I didn't even draw the parallel. She told him, like, what James Earl Jones is to Darth Vader, Roger L. Jackson is to Scream and to Ghostface and to horror, and it's true. Roger L. Jackson has, like, the most iconic voice in horror. Like, there's not really a voice more iconic than Ghostface that I can think of, besides maybe like Jigsaw. But I think Ghostface is even more iconic voice wise than Jigsaw. So just an absolutely awesome dude. It really was an honor to meet Roger L. Jackson. So that was the first night. We did Matthew Lillard for 5 hours, Roger L. Jackson, and my mom did Alice Cooper. So the next day, obviously, Saturday, we knew was going to be the busiest day. That's the day most people go to. It's the longest day. It opens at 10 in the morning and it goes until 7 o'clock at night. So we were like, well, like we have to be there when it opens. And we're probably not leaving that shit until it closes. like it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a lot. So the main mission for Saturday was Neve Campbell. I was like, I have to get Neve Campbell on Saturday. And then we also booked a photo op, which was it was called like the Scream Supreme group photo. And the photo was Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, um, Jamie Kennedy, and Lee Waddell, who was the guy in the Ghostface costume in Scream 1 and 2, in costume. So we were like, all right, so we got to get Neve Campbell done. We had that photo op later in the day. And then I also wanted to get David Arquette done. I wanted to get like the two, the two big ones. I wanted to get Sidney and Dewey and the photo op. So like this is gonna be a long one. It's gonna be the most busy day, and we're going for like two of the most popular people. So this is gonna be a fucking battle. This is gonna be a test. So it was rough. Also, what's up, man? I appreciate you popping in chat. Um, so we get there at probably like 9:40. Parking lot packed. The lines packed. like, like it is crazy. We're like, oh man, this is gonna be a day. Um, so we don't even get in at 10 because the lines are so long. I think we got in the building at like 10:05 because you have to wait for the lines to go in, or like 10:10, 10:15. So I told my mom, I was like, look, when we get inside, because you have to like show your wristband that you're not just going in there without like paying for a ticket. I was like, when I get in there, I'm fucking, Usain Bolt in it, Brees Hall in it, LeBron on a fast break. I'm like, I am sprinting to get on Neve Campbell's line because I was like, we're not like, I'm not playing around. I gotta get there. Um, so I do that, but when I get there, the line's already wrapped around a couple of times. I'm like, fuck. I was like, it's still not good enough, dude. So on Saturday, Neve Campbell's line wrapped around 4 times. And I think we were in the middle or the end. We were like in the middle of the second wrap. So not great. Or maybe the second or the beginning of the third. I don't know, but either way, not great. To put it in perspective, like Friday, like I said, Matthew Lillard's line wrapped around 3 times, I believe. Saturday, Matthew Lillard's line wrapped around 6 times. 6 times. Like, that's how much busier it got on Saturday. So we were like, shit, like this is gonna be crazy. But I was like, if it's like 2.5 times, I was like, it might be the same as Matthew Lillard's. Like maybe it'll be 5 hours, which will suck, but at least it's a longer day. No, bro. I wish. Neve Campbell's line, it took 8 hours. 8 hours to get to Neve. It was insane. You know, the Mortal Kombat test your might shit? That's what this was. It took 8 hours. I forgot my PS5 turned off. I'll put the light back on in a second. Um, it took 8 hours. So we were just sitting there for hours and we're like, shit, like we're not gonna get anything else done. Like this is too busy. So what happened was my mom was like the fucking trooper that really just sat in that line for 8 hours the entire day, where I left occasionally just to go and do other things, because if I didn't, we weren't gonna get everything done. So on I think hour 3 or 4, Nev had to leave to go do a panel and photo ops. So that was kind of like when Matt left on Friday and we're just sitting there for hours with nothing happening because she's not there. That happened again. Um, but I kind of pissed me off because like I want to go to that panel. I want to go to that panel. I want to, see Nev talk and do like a Q&A and stuff. Um, so she leaves and my mom was like, just go. She's like, go to the panel. I'll hold it down. I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, yeah, go. I was like, all right, you're a real one. So I went. And that was really cool too. I mean, the panel was like half an hour and it was basically just her answering a bunch of questions. Like they put a mic up like in front of the stage and like, people could just go up and ask questions. So obviously there was a long ass line to ask her questions. And it was just really cool. It was cool. Just to hear us talk a little bit. Um, you know, the I don't want to like say my favorites because like now that I've met everybody, like everyone was so great. Like I love them all. But like obviously I went in there and like my big three of like people I was really excited to meet were Matthew Lillard, David Arquette, and Nev. Because Sidney and Dewey are my two favorite Scream characters. Stu is a close third. I love Stu. He's only in the first one, so like he doesn't go as far as Dewey and Sidney. But and I'm still not sure if like Sidney or Dewey's my favorite. I kind of love them equally, but it was just crazy. It was so cool just to like sit there, look at her, just like see her answering questions and just talking about Scream. And it's kind of unfortunate. Like some of the stuff that she was talking about, like, was kind of unfortunate. Like obviously people were asking, like, "Oh, are you gonna come back to Scream? Like, would you want to be in a new Scream movie?" And it's going back to everything that's been going on. She's like, "Yeah, I would love to be in the Scream movies, but they gotta pay me." you know, she's like, "I know my worth." And she's like, "I'd love to come back to Scream, but if they're basically gonna disrespect me, like I'm not gonna do it." And obviously everybody there's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." So there was that. She was talking about Wes Craven a little bit, which was cool. Um, just a bunch of random questions. It was really cool to hear. One that was kind of funny was like I think someone asked her like what some of her favorite scenes are and stuff, and she was like, "Well, I really like punching people with Courtney. That's really fun." so, so she was like, one of her favorite scenes to film was in Screen 5, the kitchen scene where her and Gail were just beating the shit out of people in the kitchen. She's like, "Yeah, it was really fun, punching people with Courtney." So that was fun. Um, yeah, it was just a cool panel. So then, uh, the panel was about half an hour, so she still had to do over photo ops after the panel. So again, I was kind of just like, shit. Like, I don't really know. So I'm leaving the panel and I'm walking back to Nev's line and I look over and David Arquette's line isn't too bad. It's not that bad. It's long, but it's not like crazy long. It's definitely the shortest line that we were waiting for at that point. So I called my mom and I was like, "Mom, I went to the Neve panel, it was great. I'm walking back over, but David Arquette's line is kind of short right now. I was like, I feel like I should hop on it because, like, I was like, if you're already holding down the Neve line, there's no way we're gonna be able to do David after Neve, like when we finally get to her. And we have the photo op to do in a few hours. I was like, there's no way. She's like, yeah, like go for it. Like you have to do it. Like she's like, if the line's not too long, yeah, hop on it. So like, okay. So again, my mom being the trooper, holding it down on the Neve line. She was there all day. Um, so I go hop on the David Arquette line. That line probably like an hour and a half. I feel like an hour and a half or 2 hours, like not too bad. I really thought David was gonna have much longer lines. And it was weird. I feel like his line was the longest on Sunday, actually. So I don't know if like everybody went to Nev Saturday and they were doing David Sunday. Um, maybe. But yeah, his line was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it was great. Now, like I said, I got a little starstruck with Matthew Lillard. Um, but I don't know, man. When I started getting closer and closer to the top of the David Arquette line, and I could just like actually see him because that was the thing too. When I was there on Friday and on Saturday, like in the morning and stuff, I saw Matthew. Obviously, I even saw Nev when I was waiting for Matthew. We got close to Nev's table a couple times. I basically saw everybody except for David Arquette. Like I saw Skeet in the distance. I saw Jamie Kennedy in the distance. I met Roger L. Jackson. Um, but I didn't even get a glimpse of David Arquette. So when I was waiting on that line and I started getting closer and I saw him, first of all, it was funny. Like I'm such a nerd. In the back of my head, when I started seeing him, I started hearing like Dewey's theme in my head, like the dum 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 dum. And then it just started hitting me, dude. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm gonna meet Dewey. I was like, I'm gonna meet David Arquette. I was like, this is fucking crazy. And then I started feeling the emotions, and it was just I even feel the emotions now just talking about it. Um, yeah, I just got so excited, so excited. It hit me. I don't know, it hit me really hard with him. And it was interesting because like well, no, I guess most people would kind of hang out behind the autograph table, but David was interesting where it's like he has the table, but he was like sitting on the end of the table. So like anytime anyone went up to him, like he would have his back to the line, so you saw him a lot. Um, so it just started hitting me when I saw him, and excuse me, like yeah, it hit really hard. Out of everyone I met, he definitely hit the hardest. And I don't know if like the like just sudden build up to it was part of it where like I didn't even see a glimpse of him until I actually met him. So like there was no preparation, there was no anything, like it was just boom, like there he is. Um it just hit me. It really hit me. Um yeah, I'm such a nerd. Like it hit me so hard that like when I was getting up to meet him, like I was just getting emotional, like I was feeling like the waterworks in my eyes start going. And like I said, even thinking about it now, it's kind of getting me emotional. I still haven't really processed everything, so it's still kind of like everything's still kind of running around in my head. It was an overwhelming weekend. I'm still kind of processing everything that happened, so everything's kind of raw still emotionally. That's also why I wanted to do this today instead of waiting till next Sunday. But I literally had to take a bunch of deep breaths, drink a bunch of water. Like, dude, don't go up there and start crying in front of him, dude. Like, I was like, don't go up to David Arquette and just be fucking bawling, dude. I was like, don't do that. Don't be a pussy. I was like, that. Please don't do that. Um, so I just drank a bunch of water, took some deep breaths, kinda zoned out, like, I was looking at all the prints, like, to see what picture I wanted autographed, I didn't even notice, like, I literally just, like I was just trying to meditate and, like, zone out so much so I wouldn't go up there and be a mess that I was just standing there, and, like, he was finishing up with the person in front of me, I haven't even paid or picked out a picture yet. I was like, "Oh, shit." I was like, you know, snap back into reality for a second, and then, like, I pay for it and everything, and I just turn around, he's just right there, dude. Like, I was like, "Oh my god." Like, it hits so hard for me. Um, and man, he was the fucking coolest guy ever, man. Like, he was so cool. Like, Dewey is him. Like, he is Dewey, and it just warmed my heart. It was so nice. Um, just a happy, goofy guy. Um, I told him how much I love Dewey, uh, how much it sucked when what happens to him happens. Yeah, just, telling him how much I love him. And then I even brought up, the quarry. I meant I and I'm kinda pissed at myself because I brought up the quarry, and I said how I loved him in that game too. I wanted to ask him, like, if he'd be open to doing video games again, but I just couldn't, bro. I could barely talk to him. I could barely talk, like, I was so starstruck, I could, like, barely talk to him. Um, yeah, that's the one thing that kinda sucked was, like, I was just so shocked, kind of, like, to meet everybody that I couldn't even, like I literally had, like, questions prepared in my head, and I just couldn't get them out. Like, I could just get the basics out, like, basically, like, "Oh, I love you," and then that kinda be it. And then I would just be, like, standing there in awe, like, kinda just taking it in. Um, I meant to ask him that, but I couldn't. I just literally couldn't. I was just, like I was super starstruck, dude, like, really starstruck. I just had to meditate enough just to even get that out, just to tell him how much I loved him and Dewey, that I just couldn't really ask much. And he's like and he was like, "Oh, thanks, man. It means so much." He's, like, laughing and giggling, and I'm shaking his hand, I'm taking a picture with him and everything, like, it was just so great. It was just so great. And then, yeah, I walk away, and it just hit me again. It just hit me again on the walk away. I was like, "Jesus, bro." I was, like, tearing up again. I was like, "Fuck, man." So, I don't know, me being the most emotional with David Arquette, I don't know if that means that Dewey is my favorite, if I like him more than Sidney. I don't know. I don't know. I think the shock factor of David Arquette played a big role in it because I didn't see him, I didn't get a glimpse of him or anything, and then it's like I'm waiting online for him, and he's right there, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Or like with Neve, I was basically staring at her for a couple days. Pause. That sounds creepy, but like I was just like looking at her for a couple days. So like I don't know if that kind of got me a little prepared, and then what else happened to like this day got me prepared by the time I went up to her. But like on like pure emotion while meeting the person, David definitely won because I was like holding back tears going up to him, and then holding back tears leaving after meeting him. And holding back tears even talking about it, like, I don't know, it really hit me, like, I love Dewey. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what that means? I don't know, we'll see. I'm still like I said, I'm still processing everything a little bit. I'm a nerd, I'm sorry, guys. I am, I'm just a big fucking nerd. If you haven't figured that out by now, I don't know why you're here, but, everybody knows how much of a nerd I am, and I'm a proud nerd. But, it's just for me and for a lot of people, like, movies and games, music, whatever, is therapy. It's escapism. So meeting people like that just that means so much is really just it's a blessing. It really is. It's a blessing. It's incredible. I kind of wish that everybody could have the opportunity to do that because it's surreal. Like yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit later too, but like it feels surreal. Like I can barely believe it happened. Like I'm looking at this picture right now and I can't believe it happened. Like it's crazy. So yeah, I meet David, go back to the Nev line. It was dude, that Nev line, I still can't believe how crazy that was. Never in my wildest dreams did I think any line would be 8 hours. I couldn't believe it. So I go back there and I don't know, no, Nev came back when I was meeting David, so the line moved a little bit, but it didn't move much. I was like, "Jesus Christ, bro." I was like, "We're never." I was like, "This is just never gonna happen." So, I, like, went to get, like, some food after the David autograph while we were waiting for Nev, because that was the main thing too, like, it's so much standing that, like, you have to, like, remind yourself to eat and drink. Like, I started feeling a little, I guess, kinda not yeah, I guess kinda dizzy, like, I don't know, you get that feeling when, like, you're really hungry and, like, you just kinda feel it in your head. I started feeling that. Bro, I had to wait an hour just to get french fries. Like this weekend, like, the weekend was literally a line waiting simulator, like, it was insane. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I had to wait an hour to get fucking french fries. Um, so yeah, like, it really like, this weekend really, I feel like it made me mentally, like, stronger. Like, it was so much patience. It was really a test. It was like, "Hey, Johnny, you've been waiting to meet, like, the cast of Scream, like, you're gonna fucking earn it, dude. Here you go. Here's the gauntlet. If you can run it, then, you'll get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow." That's really what it was. So yeah, so after David, there's just another, like, hours and hours and hours. And then eventually it comes a time where she has to leave, where Nev has to leave again to take our photo op with, like, the whole, like, Scream cast. So we're like, "Fuck, man." Like, we're still not even like, we started getting close-ish when she had to leave to go take our photo op. So we're like, "Fuck." As soon as we start making progress, we gotta leave and take the photo, and then we're gonna have to come back after the photo and wait more. But we're like, "Alright, like, whatever," you know? By that point, I think we're waiting online for Nev for, like, 7 hours or something. So, like, fuck, like, me and my mom were like, we really like, we're exhausted, like, we've been waiting in that line for so long, we're like, we really don't wanna come back, but we have to. So, again, the people on the Nev line were really great, bunch of nice people. I guess that's kind of the things, like, when you go to a con like this, everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody basically feels the way you feel. So it's kinda cool just to be in, like, a room with, first of all, people that are nice and that people that kind of understand, like, the love that everybody has for this one thing or these things. So that was cool. So we had a bunch of nice people in the Nev line because they didn't do what they did with Matthew where they handed out cards. They were basically like, "Oh, if you have a photo op, just, remember who was in front of you, remember who was behind you, tell me you have to go leave for the photo op, and hopefully they'll let you back in line." We're like, "Oh, great. Thanks, dude. That's great. That makes me feel great." So we left, but the people were nice in our line. So again, we had to wait forever. Well, no, not forever. I'm exaggerating now. We had to wait probably another 20 minutes, half hour to get the photo taken. So we had to leave Nev's autograph line, go to the photo op area, wait in the photo op area, and they packed us in tight like goddamn sardines. And then you have to wait for all the groups to go up and stuff. So we waited there for probably about half an hour. And for people that don't that go to cons or want to go to a con that haven't been to a con, the photos are dope. I love the photos. Like, this photo is fucking awesome. I love it. But the autographs are the more personal ones. The autographs, you get to talk to them for a little bit, be around them for a little bit. The picture, it's like you go, you stand where you're supposed to stand, they take the picture, and then you're done. Like, you don't get to really talk to anybody or do much. You kind of go in, you take the picture, and that's it. So, like, for people that want to go to cons, the photo ops are dope. I still recommend the photo, like, if obviously if you have the money to do both, like the autographs and the photo ops, I would do both just because they're all cool. But if it's one or the other, honestly, I would. do the autographs and maybe get like a selfie at the table, just because if you want to actually meet the people, that's the best way to go about it because the photo ops are so quick. I mean, but this was a really like I love this picture. I mean, you got everybody there. You got Lee Waddell, who was Ghostface in the suit for the first two Scream movies. You got Skeet, Jamie. I'm next to Neve. Then you got David right there, and then obviously you got Matthew Lillard, and then my mom at the end. Um, and it was really cool. The one thing that me and my mom both said though was like when we went in there for the picture, it's like we saw Matthew, Neve, and David. I didn't even really see Jamie or Skeet or Lee Waddell in the Ghostface costume. Like they were kind of just off on the side. So like if that was my only interaction with them, it would have sucked because like I didn't even really see them. Like I really just saw Neve, David, and Matt. So we go in there again. I'm like, I walk in the room like, holy fuck. I'm like, everybody's just right here. Like this is insane. Matt gives you like a handshake and a hug again. David says hi to you. Nev says hi. Um, I know it's kind of funny because me and my mom were talking about it. Like, if we could choose where to go in the photo, I was like, well, I want to be next to Nev. And she was like, well, I want to be next to either Matt or Skeet or someone. So perfect. I got next to Nev. She got next to Matt. And then we got David Arquette, just, me and David Arquette in the middle. It was great. I love the picture. It's great. Um, but this was another thing where I was like, this might have softened the blow of meeting Nev a little bit just because I already kind of was next to her. Like, I can't really blow it up. But it's funny too, because in the picture I took with Mark Hamill, you can see in my eyes, I'm like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. And this one too, like if you like I can't really zoom in, but like on this one, like I can just see in my eyes, I'm like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. Like I'm just kind of like it's crazy. Like you just walk into a room and then bam, there's everybody. Like it's insane. So I think that also softened the blow of Nev a little bit, that I wasn't like a crying mess when I went up like I did for David. Um, but yeah, I mean this picture's awesome. I love it so much. I already made it my home screen on my iPhone, and then I made like a little collage of like all the other selfies I took. Um, so we did that. After the picture, then we had to go back to the Neve Campbell line, and we had to wait for her to finish the photo ops. And then finally, when she came back, it happened. I got to meet her, and Neve was different. Where like I said, I think seeing her a lot before I met her got me a little bit mentally, like a little mentally prepared for it. Where, like I said, where David Arquette was kind of just like a shock. I saw him for the first time as soon as I met him. Where like I saw a lot of Neve, and I know it sounds creepy, but like when I was waiting online for Matt, I was looking at her, and like anytime I could look at her, I was. I love Neve, um, in the most respectful way possible. um, you know, I may or may not have a little crush on her, but it's okay. Um, but I think it softened the blow a little bit because when I met her, it hit me, but I could talk. I could talk. It got to a point where, like, I kind of just told her how much I love Sidney and everything, and then I couldn't talk anymore. I hit my word limit. Like, I guess that's kind of a good way to put it. It's like with everybody, for the most part, I kind of have like a word limit. I could say a few things, tell them how much I love them, and then when I got to that, I kind of just froze. Which I don't know. I'm kind of like, it's not embarrassing, but like I wish I could have just stuck in there so I could have actually got to talk to them a little bit more, because they were all like very talkative and just awesome. But I would just hit like a word limit, freeze, be like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, and then that kind of be it. So with Nev, it was like I went up there. I told her that like Sydney is like my favorite horror character ever. I love her so much and how great she is. Um, One thing I thought that was kind of funny was like I told her my name, and she was like, "Oh, Johnny's a short for something." I was like, "Oh yeah, Giancarlo, but I save everybody from writing Giancarlo." And then she was like laughing at that and stuff. But dude, it was like, oh my god, I don't want to sound like a simp, but like But, like, when I first went up there and, like, I shook her hand and she looked at me and said hi and, like, smiled at me, I was like, "Oh my god, bro." I was like, "Oh my god." I was like, I'm trying not to simp out, but I was like, "Jesus, bro." And, like, hearing her voice and everything, like, oh, man, it just, it kinda froze me a little bit, it did. So I couldn't even really say too much to her, so I got the picture and everything, told her again, like, "Thank you, how much I like her." And then when I walked away, it hit me. I walked away and it just started hitting me. But, like, David, it was, like, the approach, it hit me because again, the shock value, I think, and then when I left, it hit me. But because I was looking at Neve so much throughout the few days, it didn't really hit me on the approach, but after it hit me. And then again, goddamn, I'm a fucking nerd, bro. Like, talking about David started to get me, like, a little emotional again. Because, like I said, I this whole weekend feels like I was in an alternate dimension. It's so overwhelming, I haven't processed it yet, and it's still raw. Like, even talking about it again now, like, it's getting me emotional again. I'm trying, like, to keep it together. But, dude, oh my god. Yeah, Nev was awesome. I just wish I could have, like, gotten more words out. Yo, what's up, Joe? How you doing, bro? And Yeet Man, I'm not gonna put your comment up on screen, but you're not wrong. But yeah, yeah, I handled the Nev situation better than I thought I would. Like David, I had to meditate before I went up to him, but Nev, it hit me a little bit after, and then I kind of froze after a point. Yeah. Oh my god. Crazy. It's crazy. I still like I said before, like I'm looking at the pictures, I still can't believe it's real. Like just crazy ass shit, bro. So that that ended the 8-hour Nev Campbell autograph line saga. 8 hours. That ended that. And that was Saturday. So Saturday, waited online forever for the Nev Campbell line. Went to the Nev Campbell panel, which was also cool. David Arquette, the photo op, and then the Nev autograph and everything. So Saturday, even though it was a treacherous day, my mom is a fucking real one for waiting on that line for so long and holding my spot while I was going and doing other things. She had to sit there the entire time. And without getting into it too much, my mom isn't healthy. So her doing all that, it was a lot for her to come out here and do everything with me. But it was a great time and I really appreciate it. She was a real one. She really held it down there. So I could go and do other things basically while she just waited in line and suffered all day. So yeah, so Saturday was a lot. It was a lot. We got a lot done. So Nev, David, and the photo op, and I also went to the Nev Campbell panel for the half hour. Um, so that was Saturday. And after Saturday, me and my mom were like, bro, like, holy fuck. Like, we were feel like Friday, I was like, for the 5 hours for Matthew Lillard, I was like, that was long, that was a lot, but whatever. Like we gotta go too. We gotta get ready for Saturday. After Saturday, both of us were just like, holy fuck, bro. Like that was insane. Like that was a long ass day. And I think like that's also like part of the reason why I still haven't processed everything yet. Cause one, it was just so many people in such a short amount of time. And then like just the long ass days. It was mentally exhausting. So after that, we went back to the hotel, got like some room service because we just wanted to go to the hotel and hang out. We didn't want to go anywhere to get food. We're like, we just need to relax. After that, take it easy, eat a little bit, hang out, get some sleep because then we got to do it all over again on Sunday because Saturday was 10 to 7, Sunday was 10 to 5. We didn't do the whole thing, but we still had some missions to accomplish. And yes, it was a crazy ass weekend. Absolutely. It was wild. I think I said it in my Instagram post. Like it's one of the craziest weekends or like the best weekend of my life. Like it was insane. It really was a dream come true, as corny as it is. But yeah, crazy ass weekend. So now we get to Sunday. Sunday, woke up a little bit earlier because we had to check out of the hotel because we are going home after everything on Sunday. We're going straight home after the convention. So Sunday, we're like, okay, I have to get Skeet Ulrich, who is Billy in Scream. I want to get Jamie Kennedy, who is Randy in Scream, and then I was like, I want to do Damien Leone, who, like I said, is like the creator of Terrifier. I want to get David Howard Thornton, who's Art the Clown in Terrifier. And I was like, and if I have time and energy and money, I was like, and maybe Hayden Panettiere. Um, so we go there, bro. The line on Sunday was the longest line of the weekend, and me and my mom were like, bro, what the fuck is going on? We're like, what is this? Like, Saturday is supposed to be the busy day, and then everyone says Sunday is the quiet day. Because when we went to the one on Sunday in like 2018, there was like nobody there. There was like no lines or anything. We're like, what is this? Why is this the longest line? Um, so we were like, shit, okay. Um, but waited on that long ass line to get in. It was kind of crazy when we were waiting online. We were by the, like, back entrance where, like, the celebrities come in, so we were waiting online, and then as we're waiting online, like, Skeet Ulrich goes into the con while we're waiting there, like, "Oh, shit," like, "Okay, he's right there." I'm gonna meet him in a little bit. Um, so that was cool. Same thing, I told my mom, I was like, "Yo, as soon as we get in there, I'm gonna do the same thing. LeBron on the fast break, I am sprinting to his line, and I'm gonna try to get as good of a spot as I can." Um, so even on a Sunday I walked in there and still, I mean, Nevin and Matthew Lillard just had like mosh pits of lines still. And then Skeets was getting long. I got there like I got in there like 10:15 because the line was so long. And I got his line went around like one and a half times. So obviously I didn't get on the first straight line, but I got on that halfway point before it turned into a full second line. So I was like, it's not what I hope for for Sunday, but it's not the worst. We'll make it work. Um, so then, I get there, my mom gets there, and while we're there, we got our spot on the line. I look because Jamie Kennedy's table is right next to Skeet's, and I was like, "Yo, Jamie Kennedy has like 10 people online right now. Like his line is really short." I was like, "I feel like I should probably hop on his line before it gets long." And Skeet hasn't even started yet. So my mom's like, "Yeah, go on that line just so we can kinda, we're both tired. We're both starting to feel like, like we've been standing for about 20 hours and 2 days at this point." So we're like, "Yeah, like we just gotta get shit done, you know? Like enjoy the moment, obviously, but we gotta be efficient. We gotta get shit done, you know? Like we're both exhausted." Um, so I go to the Jamie Kennedy line. Again, I waited about like maybe like half an hour maybe for Jamie Kennedy. Um, which, one of the best waits of the weekend. And again, he was just an awesome guy. He was really, really cool. Um, I got up there and I was like, I guess spoilers for Scream 2, but I'm assuming if you're watching this, hopefully you've seen the Scream movies. But I went up there. I told him like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like, I love Randy. He got taken from us too soon." And he's like, "Yeah, man, that's exactly how I feel. That's what I said." You know? Because I love Randy. I wish they didn't kill him when they did, because Randy's fucking awesome. He was one of my favorite characters, so I was really upset when that happened to him. So, I told him about that. He was like, "Yeah, I agree, it was fucked up." And then, I made a joke and I was like, well, not a joke, but I was like, I really, really love Randy. I relate to him a lot. He's the movie nerd. I'm a movie nerd. I was like, I have a YouTube channel where I just like review movies and stuff. He was like, "Oh no way, that's awesome, man." He was like, "I feel like if Randy, got older, he probably would have made a YouTube channel too." And I was like, "Yeah, he probably would have." I was like, and then we could have collabed, so we were laughing about that. Um, and then, that was probably about it with Jamie. Then I took my selfie. The one thing that was funny with Jamie was like he he had like an actual light to put on your phone for the selfie, which is kind of funny. And he was like making some, he had like a smolder face in the one, and then he did this face in the other one. Like, you're just really, really funny. Like, I really like Jamie was such a cool guy. And yes, absolutely, Jamie Kennedy is the guy from Son of the Mask. I also grew up watching that movie, so I didn't bring that up, but yeah, I knew him from that too, which I also thought was funny. Not many people, know about that movie, but yup, that's him. So really, really cool guy, really, really nice. It was cool, obviously getting to talk to him as well. Uh, Little half-hour long wait, so also not too bad on the line. But yeah, awesome dude. Everybody was so great. Like I can't stress that enough. Like everybody was so awesome. So that was really cool. So after Jamie, I went back on the Skeets line with my mom, and that took, I think Skeet took about 2 hours. I think his line took about 2 hours, which not the worst, but on Sunday I was hoping for a little bit better than 2 hours. But I got to meet Skeet, and like such a cool dude. He probably talked to me the most out of everybody, which I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting Skeet to talk the most out of everybody, but he did. I kind of thought that was going to be like Matthew or David maybe, but Skeet talked to me the most. Um, and Skeet was like, I got a little starstruck with Skeet a little bit. Like when I started seeing him a little bit, I was like, holy shit, like, that's Billy, bro. I felt it a little bit. And even my mom did. Um, but yes, trust me, when I saw his name for the first time too, I thought the same thing, Skeet Skeet motherfucker. Yeah. But yes, that's his name. Skeet Ulrich. Um, but he was so fucking great. He was so great. Um, Went up there, shook his hand, all that. Um, and it was just kind of interesting because I went up there and almost everybody made a comment on my name, which was kind of funny. Like Roger L. Jackson, when I told him Johnny's like, "Oh, Italiano," something. And then Nev, the one time I was like, "Oh, Johnny short for something?" I said Giancarlo, all that. Um, and then Ski said the same thing too. Like he was like, "Oh, you're Italian, huh?" or whatever. And and I was like, "Yeah, it's short for Giancarlo, so I save, I don't go by that. I save everybody from that." And he was like, "Oh, no kidding." He's like, "I just worked with Giancarlo Esposito," and I was like, "Huh?" And then we started talking about that. He was like talking about how he went to NYU for his acting stuff, and how he knew Giancarlo Esposito for like 19 years, and he just finally got to do a project with him. He has a new show on AMC, I guess. I think he says called Perish. It's gonna be Skeet and Giancarlo Esposito, so I'm definitely watching that. That sounds great. Um, Two of them together, that'd be fire. So he was telling me about that, how he got to work with Giancarlo and how he's known him for so long and all that. So we started talking about that. And then by then he was done signing the autograph. So then, we took the pictures. I took a picture by myself, and then my mom wanted to take a picture with him too. Obviously, he let my mom take the picture, which was nice. Um, and then uh on the way out, I just told him again, I guess this is kind of spoilers for Scream 5 and 6, but not really. I told him like, I'm so happy that they found a way to bring you back somehow, and he was really, laughing and smiling at that. He said, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you." We're telling him, how whenever he pops up in Scream 5 and 6, it's always a highlight and it's awesome to see him. He appreciated that. And then, that was it. So Skeet was fucking awesome, man. Like everybody was so great. It's really like it. you kind of get, like I said, you kind of get scared when you go to these cons and you meet celebrities. You don't want your whole image of them to be shattered. You don't want someone that you love to be a dickhead. But everybody was so fucking awesome. Like they were so great. Everybody, like really, really great people. Just super nice, and you could tell they really appreciated and just care about and love their fans. So it made the whole experience and all of the treacherous line waiting worth it. And it's good to know that all of your time and money, goes into goes into a good place. People that you genuinely, like, not just their characters, but like them as people. So that was also really cool. So that was the end of meeting the Screamcast. After Skeet, me and my mom were like, okay, let's go sit down somewhere, eat some food. So we went to the food court there, got some food, found a seat, which was a miracle in itself because they did not have enough tables for the amount of people that were there. Um, and then after that, David Arquette had a panel at, I don't know, like 2 in the afternoon. So we went to that. And again, it was awesome just seeing David. And I recorded a little bit of it. I didn't put a video on Twitter and I didn't upload the video anywhere. So I can't show you guys the video. And it was kind of long. I don't know if it would even upload here. Um, but he did a little half-hour long panel. Same thing, Q&A, people going up to the mic and asking him questions. A lot of like wrestling questions because he was a wrestler. I don't really know much about David Arquette's wrestling career, but a lot of people were asking about that. And then obviously everything else was Scream for the most part. And he's just such a funny guy. Like he's so nice and goofy. Like I said, he really is like Dewey in real life. Um, it was just such a good time watching him up there, just talking to everybody. Um, yeah, there's some good questions and stuff. Like people were obviously no, I don't wanna go into it because I'm already spoiling a lot of stuff. I don't wanna keep spoiling stuff for people that haven't seen Screaming Case. But, uh, you know, all kinds of stuff. Really, really fun. And then the one thing that was nice too was, like, there was a line of people, they were gonna cut the line off of people that were asking him questions, but he was like, "No, I wanna answer everybody's questions." So they extended the panel a little bit because he wanted to answer everyone's questions, which was really nice again because they all just really, appreciate their fans, which is really just nice to see. They're all just great people. I keep saying it over and over again, but I really want to emphasize that. Like they're really great. Um, so we're there for a little bit, really fun. Again, to see more of David. Um, then after that, me and my mom were like debating, like, are we good? Do we want to leave? What do we want to do? Because, I went in there and I was like, really Scream is my main mission. I wanted to meet the Terrifier people. So we were like, I told him, I was like, let's just see what David Howard Thornton's line is like, the guy who plays Art the Clown in the Terrifier movies. We're like, okay, so we go in the room again to see like what the lines are looking like, and his line was very short, like very like so short that I wasn't even sure if he was there, but he was there. So we waited on that line for probably all of like 5 minutes. I don't really know. It wasn't long at all. And bro, I could not believe. Me and my mom were talking about this a lot. Like, I could not believe that he is Art the Clown. Now, if you don't know who Art the Clown is or what he looks like, here I was gonna save this for the end, but we'll do this quick, just so you guys can kind of understand like how shocked. Like I've seen pictures of him, obviously, like I knew who he was and what he looked like, but just meeting him in person, like so, that's him there. That's Art the Clown. Like that is what he looks like, dude. That right? So we'll go from that to that. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Um And again, just such a nice, down to earth guy. Like we were talking to him for a while. Like there's been a whole bunch of controversy going around with Terrifier 3. You know, the teaser I think actually just got put out online officially today because there was that whole Terrifier 2 re-release event where if you went to see Terrifier 2 in theaters again on November 1st, you would see the first teaser trailer for Terrifier 3 and get the first poster for Terrifier 3, which me and my mom did because we love it. Um, I don't know how to say this without YouTube getting mad at me. In the trailer, they set up a scenario where Art the Clown may or may not extend his clientele, we'll say, extend his work, you know, his art, no pun intended, to a child. And it's been stirring up a lot of controversy on the internet already. You know, people were like ready to boycott it and be like, oh, that's, you know, unacceptable. You know, you can't do that in movies. You know, kids are off limits. Like, it's fucking just disgusting. It's garbage, you know, all that. Like, it's just, you're a heathen, basically. So, talking about that, you know, he brought up some good points. He's like, you know, Pennywise exclusively dealt with kids. And there's plenty of other horror movies that also deal with kids. He's like, so I don't know why, you know, it's such a big problem when it's been done before. I was like, you know, you're right. But the one thing I guess that changes it a little bit is because Terrifier is so gory and so insane. I guess that's why. But you know, when you put it like that, like yeah, it's been done before, you know. So we were talking about that for a little bit, and because he's such a normal guy, I asked him, I was like, you know, do you have to like do anything to like to get into character? Because like if you guys have not seen Terrifier, I can't stress enough, like Art the Clown is the most vicious, brutal, evil motherfucker I've ever seen in a horror movie ever. Like this dude is insane. I was like, do you have to like do anything to like mentally get there? Like to mentally go there and become him? And he looked at me, made like a little like smirk thing with his eyes. That kind of I saw art for like a second in his eyes. And he was like, no. He was like, I don't know what that says about me as a person, but no. Um, which was funny. And then you know, we were talking about how, you know, they kind of up the ante a little bit in every Terrifier movie. Like every Terrifier movie, I could just say like, oh, that one scene in Terrifier 1 or oh, that one scene in Terrifier 2. And everyone that's seen the movies knows exactly which scene you're talking about because it's so crazy. And we brought that up. We were like, you know, we were like, I don't know how you're gonna one up Terrifier 2. And he did another like I got a funny like evil smirk and just started laughing. It's like, oh, we did. I was like, yo, that is crazy. Like, he was really like, he was just such a nice guy. Like, he was like so down to earth that it was like he felt like someone that would go to this convention if he wasn't a modern horror icon. Like, it was so like he was just such a great, like, so nice, so shockingly normal for someone that plays such a fucking monster. Like, it's insane. But that really just goes to show how amazing of a performance it is, because to see him and talk to him and then know what he plays in those movies and how insane it is shocking. Like I couldn't like me and my mom couldn't wrap our heads around it. We're like, I can't believe that's what he's like in real life. Because like I like you won't understand unless you've seen the movies. And yes, definitely recommend I recommend everybody watches Terrifier with a caveat. Like if you're gonna watch the Terrifier movies, which I think everybody should, and I'll be straight up honest, I don't love the first Terrifier. And Damien Leone, the creator, even said that the first Terrifier was kind of just like a test of concept to see if people would like respond and like Art the Clown as a character. That's 100% what it is because there basically is no story or plot or characters or anything. It's just Art the Clown being a straight up fucking menace for like an hour and a half. And then Terrifier 2 is like, okay, so everyone likes Art the Clown. Let's put an actual movie around him now. And in my opinion, it's phenomenal. Um, so I recommend everybody watches Terrifier, but the big but, big old booty is you have to be able to handle insane amounts of gore and brutality, basically torture. If you can handle that, I think you'll really love the Terrifier movies because they go balls to the wall, but you got to be ready for it. They are not for the faint of heart. They are for hardcore. Like they're hardcore movies, man. Like they are insane. That's not a horror movie that you can just, I don't know. like, like you got to really be into it and just be down to go on a fucking twisted ass journey. But if you're here for it, I think most people will love it. I mean, like I said in different videos I posted on my channel where I talk about Terrifier, when I watched Terrifier 2 in theaters and I saw Art the Clown in theaters, I sat there and like I said, this probably feels like what it felt like to watch Michael Myers for the first time or Freddy Krueger for the first time. Because Art the Clown, in my opinion, is a modern horror icon. And when we went to this convention, it was marketed as a Scream reunion. The amount of people that were dressed up as Art the Clown and in Terrifier shirts was insane. I was so happy to see that so many people love the movie so much. I mean, because you got to figure like a horror convention, you're gonna have the most hardcore horror fans there are. So it was just really cool to see all of that. And he even said that too. Like he said, to see everybody walking around dressed up as Art is like unbelievable. Like it's surreal. So they're just, everybody that makes the Terrifier movies all seem like just, the most genuine, down to earth, real people. So, they're indie movies. They're not like Scream and Halloween that get these big budgets and access to basically whatever they want. Like they're independent indie movies, really trailblazing the way for like independent horror right now. And they just do whatever they want to do because they're independent, so they can just do whatever they want, whatever creative vision they have. So it's really inspirational. Like they're like Damien Leone, like really inspirational for like independent filmmaking. He left a little early on Sunday, so I didn't get to meet Damien Leone, but at least I got to meet David. And if Damien and they do another Terrifier thing at another Monster Mania con that's close to me, I'd be down to go and meet, more Terrifier people as well. So really, really cool. Yeah, if you're there for it, yeah, if you're you gotta be a little, you gotta be a little demented to watch the Terrifier movies, but if you are, I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, after David, that was basically it. That was the last person we met because Damien Leone, like I said, he had to leave a little bit early. Um, I didn't even see Hayden Panettiere there on Sunday, so I didn't see her. Um, so that was kind of it. So we met David, and then we walked around, looked at the different like artists and retailers that had some stuff. I got a couple things which I'll show you guys, and that was kind of it. Then we hit the road and went back home. The journey was over. Um, so yeah, it was just a crazy, crazy fucking experience. My mom drove back home. I basically just crashed in the car. Like all of the tire hit me. And like I was just ready at that point to go home. Like I was like, man, these have been 3 long ass days, like great days. Don't get me wrong, like they were amazing days, but they were so long and so exhausting and so tiring that by the time we left on Sunday, me and my mom were like, "Oh man, I'm ready to go." You know, like we had a great time, but we were like, "Man, like that was insane. That was long. That was a lot of standing, a lot of walking." And the thing that's funny too is like, I've been going to the gym and I've lost like 15 pounds or whatever. Um, and I was kind of eating, like not great. I've been trying to fix my diet. Like I was I was eating like fast food and stuff there. It was so much standing and walking that I actually lost a pound even though I was just eating like shit. Which is funny. Um, like it was crazy. Um, but yeah, so now I'm gonna show you guys like the different, the stuff I got and kind of just talk about like how I felt when I got home because I had this weird feeling come over me when I was home. And I'm kind of still having it where when I was at the con all 3 days and in the hotel and all that, it literally felt like I was in some alternate dimension. This is gonna sound like weird, but it just felt like I was in some other reality, if that makes sense. Like, I would have little glimpses of like my normal life and my normal reality where like I would look at my phone, see some text messages or whatever, and be like, oh right, life. But like when I was there, it just felt it just had like I don't know, there's like this aura around it. I think obviously that's just because of being around all these, celebrities and stuff. But like I said, it was just so much in such a short amount of time. I didn't get to process everything. Like I met Neve Campbell, Matthew Lillard, David Arquette, Skeet Ulrich, Jamie Kennedy, Roger L. Jackson, David Howard Thornton, all within the span of 3 days. And it was just so much constant like go, 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 go. Like we gotta get online quickly so we can, like so much just constant moving and going and waiting and that I didn't really get a chance to process any of it. So when I was like at home last night and just sitting on my couch and I was like looking through the photos, looking at my autographs and just kind of thinking about everything, it really it really hit me. It started to like, it hasn't fully hit me, like, it's still hitting me every now and then. I get a little, like, punch of emotion, like, when I was talking about David and Nev. Um, but I was sitting there, and I was looking at the pictures, and I was making, this little, like, collage for my for my home screen, like, just looking at the pictures, and I was sitting there on my couch, and I had my, like, David autograph and my Nev autograph, and it just started hitting me, like, I started getting emotional. I was like, "This was, like, a crazy ass experience that I can't believe I actually got to live through and do." Like, I can't believe I actually did it because it just didn't hit me. Like I said, like, in my head, I almost turned it into, like, a game where it's like a gauntlet I'm running just to try to get to everybody. So then actually sitting there and just realizing that I did it and I met all these people and thinking back on everything, like, it really started to hit me emotionally. Like, I kinda got emotional, like, I was just sitting on my couch fucking again, I'm a nerd, I'm sorry, but, like, I was sitting there, like, tearing up and, like, almost crying a little bit just looking at everything. I was like, "This is insane." Like, what a crazy ass weekend and how blessed I am to be in a spot where I could do that. Um, and it's just something I've always cherished and remember forever, even though it felt daunting to get through at times. Meeting the people and everything was always great, but the actual process of doing everything kind of got to be a lot. But just sitting there and reflecting on everything, like it really was amazing, like so, so good. Um, that I just couldn't really believe it. And I'm still kind of taking it in. And Yeah, it's just insane. It really is. I don't even know if what I said really made much sense, but yeah, it really just it's just something special. And like I said, it's corny, but it really was like a dream come true. Like I always wanted to meet them, because I love the Scream movie so much, but actually doing it's crazy. And it was so much in the course of a weekend that I'm still kind of trying to mentally process everything, but really, really just amazing experience. Okay. Now, show you guys my goodies real quick. So that was a weird noise. Um, I stacked them in order of like how I got them. Um, so the first one we'll start off with is Roger L. Jackson, who obviously is the voice of Ghostface. And his signature is just beautiful. Like his signature looks gorgeous. He really took his time with it when he was signing it too. And I just love that picture of Ghostface. He had a lot of cool pictures to choose from, obviously, because there's just all kinds of Ghostface pictures, but I thought that one just looked really nice and clean. So I went with that one. Then the next one, we got Matthew Lillard. He also had just some great, great pictures to choose from. It was hard to pick a picture, but I just love that, she's no Sharon Stone from the first Scream. So I saw that picture and it made me laugh. I was like, yeah, I gotta have that one. And I thought it was really funny how he wrote "Live Her Alone." If you've seen the movie, you'll understand that. "Live her alone." So that was funny. Um, love that one. Then oh, shit, we've got David Arquette, Dewey Riley himself. Again, he had tons of cool like picking pictures was really hard. Like they all had some really good prints to choose from. It took me a while to like pick the pictures I wanted, but I just like that one. Like there were some pictures of him from like Scream 5 where he's a little bit older, and they had like pictures of him like getting fucking attacked by Ghostface and stuff. And I was like, that's kind of not cool. I don't want that, but I just went with that one. I was like, when I think of Dewey, that's kind of what I think of. So I was like, I just go with that one. And then this is just the picture, the group picture framed. That's the thumbnail of the stream, and I showed it on stream. So that one, love that picture. Really like how it came out. This one's gorgeous. And it has a lot to do with Neve. I mean, I just love how she looks in Scream 2. I mean, I love how she looks in every one of the movies, but I really like how she looks in Scream 2 for some reason. So I saw that picture on her table and I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. Um, and then yeah, she asked me like if I wanted a quote or what quote I wanted for the autograph. And in my head, I had a couple, like I was thinking about it the night before. I was like, if I wanted a quote from Sidney, because she's got so many great one-liners. And the ones that popped into my head were not in my movie or don't fuck with the original. But when she asked me what quote I wanted, I was like, you know what? I was like, Nev, you write whatever you want. Like, you write whatever you want. And then she wrote not in my movie, and I was like, oh shit, she read my mind. We're on the same wavelength. I thought that was kind of funny. But love that one. I mean, I love all of them, obviously. Then we got Jamie here. I thought that picture was funny. I always like laugh at that part in the first Scream, like the face he makes when he answers the phone. So I saw that picture. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. That one's just funny to me. Um, and he wrote "Everybody's a suspect," which also awesome. I love that line from the first Scream movie. That's one of his most iconic lines. So love that one. Thought that picture was funny. And then for the finale of the Scream autographs, we got Skeet or Billy. And again, he had so many great pictures to choose from that it took me a while to choose, but I ended up going with that one because I just liked, you know, towards the end of the movie, he had the pistol, he had the voice changer, all bloody and stuff. I just really liked that one. So I went with that one. And I figured since I had Matthew Lillard from the end of the first movie, go with that one too. And then I showed this one before, but here we go again. David Howard Thornton is Art the Clown from Terrifier 2 with that wicked fucking that table leg that has a bunch of forks and knives sticking out of it that he beats the fuck out of people with. That's brutal and disgusting and awesome. I saw that picture. I was like, yeah, that's dope. Like I love that one. Yeah, dude. He had like 2 tables full of prints that me and my mom were sitting there and we're like, dude, I really don't. I was like, I could literally pick 5 of these prints for him to autograph. Like, I don't know. Like all of them are so cool. Um and this one, it was kind of funny. So me and my mom got the same picture autographed by him. And on hers, he wrote, "Let's go clubbing." And then dark humor, but on mine, he wrote, "You look like a baby seal," or "You remind me of a baby seal," because baby seals get so some dark humor, but uh, love that one. So those are all the autographs. I literally framed them an hour before I started stream. Um, I'm gonna hang those up tomorrow. I have a spot I'm thinking. We'll see if I can get them all to fit. And then for like just regular merch things I got, the main thing that I was excited about, I've been looking at this for a while. Um, I have a couple Ghostface bobbleheads, and they make like some special edition bobbleheads. And this one I didn't get because it was an older one. I found it on Amazon. It was a Hot Topic exclusive from like a year ago or a year or two. I sold out and I missed it and I was pissed. But someone had it. It's Ghostface in front of Stu's TV from the first Scream movie, Matthew Lillard's TV, and it has like the popcorn bowl and the movie VHS tapes. So this was like my favorite one of the bobbleheads. It's just when I found it, I was spending a lot of money, so I kind of I kind of held off on getting it, and I really regretted not getting it once it sold out because I couldn't find it anymore. But someone had it. They originally wanted 60 for it, but I haggled them down a little bit to like 45 because retail was $40. I was like, if I could get it for like 45, a little bit over retail, I'm fine with that. But I was like, 60 is insane. I haggled them down a little bit, expert negotiator. So I got a good price on that. So I went with that bobblehead. I was so happy when I found that. I was like, that'll be a great little souvenir to round out the weekend. That bobblehead that I regretted not getting, finding it. Um, and then I got a couple shirts that I guess I could show real quick. And then that's basically it. Here, let me move that a little bit. So the first one I got, I love Silence of the Lambs. I love Buffalo Bill. They put some lotion in the basket. So I had to get that. I thought that was funny, Buffalo Bill holding Precious, how could I not? How could I not? Put the fucking lotion in the basket. I had to get it. I had to get it. So saw that one. And then the dude, I mean, this guy had like a whole tent full of shirts. I had to really restrain myself from going crazy and buying like everything. But he was having like a deal where like if you bought 2 shirts, you get a discount. So I got that. I thought that one was tough, dude. Now that I'm becoming like a Saw fan, I saw the first one. I love the first one. I saw the second one. I really like the second one too. And I just saw X that was in theaters, and I love that one. I like Saw X almost as much as the original. Those are my 2 favorites. I've only seen those 3 though. But now that I'm becoming a Saw fan, I was like, I think it's time I get a shirt. Billy the Puppet, live or die, make your choice. So I thought that shirt was fire. I had to go with that. So first Saw shirt, got a Silence of the Lambs shirt, and that just about does it. That was my weekend. It was a crazy one. It was a really, really crazy one that I can barely wrap my head around the fact that any of it even happened. It kind of feels like a fever dream. Um, like I said, the emotions randomly hit me. I'm so happy and blessed to even have been able to experience this, and it was just awesome. I can't stress it enough. I can't find the words for it to just like express how I feel, but I've said it a million times now, like Scream is one of my favorite things ever, one of my favorite movies ever, one of my favorite franchises ever. And the characters in Scream are just some of my favorite characters ever, not just horror or movie. They're some of my favorite characters ever. And even though I've only been like a fan of Scream for like a few years now, because Cold War, Black Ops Cold War was the really the starting point of my Scream fandom. That was 2021. I've only been a fan for like 2.5 years or whatever. They already have such a special, significant place in my heart. I love them so much that it really was just an absolutely surreal, incredible experience that I can't even process it. I can't process it. But really, really just blessed to have been able to do that. I'm really appreciative that everybody, they're all working still and doing their own things. I'm appreciative that they all took the time to really just set a whole weekend aside and just, you know, go through that experience with all of us. Like I said, if I'm exhausted, I can't imagine how they're all feeling after having to sign a million autographs and take a million pictures. Um, and for all of them just being so nice and so like genuinely just like sweet and caring and just, genuinely loving their fans and caring about them. It really means a lot. And it actually, it made me even love Scream even more because now when I'm watching the movies, I'm gonna be thinking about how awesome everybody was when I met them. I'm gonna look over next to me and see all my autographs that I have with them and stuff, like it really I already loved them, but it made me love them even more. And that's really special. This whole weekend has been really special. Um, so yeah, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna cut myself off there. Thank you for anybody that's listened to me just ramble and geek the fuck out for about 2 hours. um, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and just listening to me talk about this experience. I know it was probably very repetitive, just saying the same things over and over and over again. But like I said, I'm not really in a spot right now where I fully processed everything, so I can't really give too much like depth or insight. It's just raw emotion and excitement still, which is why I wanted to do this as soon as possible. When I got home, I just physically couldn't do it yesterday. I didn't have enough energy. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Bravo Cast, episode 2. Uh, like I said, I think a million times during the first episode, it's only been 2 episodes, but I really enjoy doing these. I hope you guys enjoy these like podcasts videos. Um, and I'm gonna keep on doing them. So next Bravo Cast episode should be this Sunday, hopefully. And I'll find some stuff to talk about. And if you guys ever have any ideas of stuff you want to hear me talk about or do on the show, make sure to jump in the Discord, give me some ideas and requests for like normal streams and stuff. I should be live probably Wednesday. Modern Warfare 3, the new Call of Duty just came out this weekend. Not great timing for that, but I do want to make a whole bunch of content on that. I didn't really get to play it much, obviously. So I still have a lot of grinding to do in the game and stuff because I barely even started playing it. So there'll be a bunch of that coming out. I'm thinking maybe on the next Bravo Cast episode, I'll be doing like a first impressions, like review type thing for Modern Warfare 3. And we'll kind of see what else I want to talk about and what you guys want to hear about. But again, Thank you guys so much for tuning in and just listening to me just be a nerd for 2 hours. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night tonight. Have a great day tomorrow, and, well, really a great week because we'll be back on this podcast for, like, about another week. But, yeah, I hope you guys just have a great week. Have a good rest of your night, and, I'll catch you guys on the next episode of the BravoCast. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you.